Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the culmination of a full season of a Dave and a Dan. And where does it end? All roads and rainbows lead to S.Darnold in the Super Bowl. I must say, not only am I happy for the guy, many times when we talked about him, I had to bite my lip and say, yeah, he chokes in the big game. Like I had to eat it last year because I backed this guy for so long. But with the double loss to the Lions and then right after that to the Rams, I had to eat it. And all I kept telling you this year was like, I'm rooting for him, but, what can I say? That game's probably going to come again. And here he is in the Super Bowl. And right before we started, we just quickly were talking about, because Lord knows you can't find any Super Bowl bets out there. You can't find any content about the Super Bowl. So while we will talk about that game, let's open up with the best thing we have to bring up. And this was something that Dave sent me earlier. He sent me earlier in the week, and then he just told me that he tweeted about it, and it had thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of impressions. And I'll probably even pull up the tweet so you guys can see it. But Dave essentially put a bet out there that is... Actually, Dave, how about, you don't have to give the long spiel because we can talk about that after. But first, I want to talk about the what happened with the tweet. So what's a great bet that you like? Great value. I couldn't have agreed more when you sent it to me in terms of the value. Why don't you nail them with it so that they could all put it in an awful minus EV price? But then it's all for our health. Okay, it's sportsbook health. You can still get it in.
There you go. Yeah, the number is not exactly there anymore, but it was TreVeyon Henderson most rushing yards in the game, and it was at plus 5,000. And to me, I couldn't help but look at that and say, all right, so because you take the implied probability you're talking about, that's 1.9. That's less than 2% of the time you would need to win that bet in order to break even, right? If you look at it like that, I'm thinking there's a lot of ways that TreVeyon Henderson could just be that guy. And the fact that it's really difficult rushing matchups for both teams makes me like it more, because if he were to just break one, even if he only had a handful of carries, right, like that could just be it. Or Ramondre Stevenson could fumble, and so many people tweeted me, man. And the reason I told you that tweet blew up was because you wouldn't imagine the amount of people that were like, well, this is idiotic. Just having no real concept. Like, yeah.
That's why I'm starting with this. Yeah, we'll talk about the bet in a second.
It's going to lose 90+% of the time. I'm aware of that. But if I think the bet is going to win more than the odds that are being offered to me, I'm going to bet it. And I don't know. There's last game he played 4 snaps, and that everyone's, he played 4 snaps. No, thank you. I had no idea. I thought he had 20 carries last week, and they put him at plus 5. You're telling me I'm getting the workhorse at plus 5,000? Thank you. Like all those things. Yeah, I know. We all know that, but it's just the idea that, that was a weird game where the snow came on heavy late. And
before you don't have to defend it.
This isn't, hold on, no, this isn't defending it. This is just the thought process of why when you find spots like that, most of the time they are going to lose. But to me, there's a higher likelihood that bet wins than I'm offered. And there's so much ambiguity in that Patriots backfield, especially knowing that outside of last week, Henderson was still getting opportunities and he can break one, that I thought, all right, fine. This bet wins 3% of the time. It's a plus EV bet. It's a good bet. And to me, that was just the logic. There's no defense here. I stopped responding to people a long time ago. But just kind of the way to look at that, if you're ever taking a look at long shots, is definitely factor in. Figure out the implied probability. It's a super simple calculation. It's very simple, man. I'm not very smart, and I can figure it out. And that'll guide your decision for sure.
Well, in terms of the bet, absolutely. We've seen games in the past. I think he was stuck on 23 yards, and he took 2 fourth-quarter carries to the house to end up leading those games in rushing and all that. So, it's a great thought. But more so, people telling you it's a donation. And, yeah, obviously, there are a ton of donkeys. Dave, if somebody was playing all the picks that I gave them for a season, NFL, NHL, and at the end of the year, if you were saying, yeah, I played that guy's Andy's picks, and he had a good season for me at plus blank units. What would you say that is? And whatever it is, it is. I'm more so curious.
Like across a whole season?
Across the whole season.
I don't know. I can't really put a number on that. I mean,
How about this? A range, just something to establish some semblance of normalcy.
I don't know, like 50 units.
Yeah, something
Right?
like that.
Seems
Something like
about
that.
right? Yeah.
So
And it's hard to
obviously,
profit in sport. It's really hard to make a profit in sports betting.
Yeah.
Plus 50 units in a season for most people is really good.
yeah, and I could already see them saying it's awful. You know, I did this. Okay, so the thing that you knew about and that we have the documentation for, the line combinations last year won 550 units in a single season.
Yeah, it's massive. That's a huge.
It's like 7 years worth of winning crammed into a year.
Yeah.
And do you know what people would say if I said the record, because obviously you're playing the assortment of combos, it won probably 28 to 30% of the bets.
Yeah.
But it won rack, and people will point to bro only wins 30% of his bets. I'm telling you, I am not far removed from being on the, like when I watch Batman or The Dark Knight, I'm rooting for the Joker now. I didn't root for, like, I was originally rooting for Batman like most. I'm like, come on, man, hit that fucking, just click that button, just get rid of these boats. Like, that's how I'm starting to feel. Obviously, a bunch of them are just maniacs. I've always thought when you're reading comments on a screen, you just think, oh, well, a human being typed this in. But if you saw the guy on the street, you'd be like, yeah, dumb. Yeah, man. Yeah, you know, because it's just a scary human being.
Yeah.
You'd see the face, you'd see how he walks, you'd see how he ticks, and then you wouldn't be so concerned. No, it's a crazy. Just please stay on that side of the street. And that's kind of how it is most of the time. So do yourself and paint a picture of who actually might be typing those things.
I will say quickly though, Andy, I don't like to paint with a broad brush here, because there were a ton of people as well that are like, oh yeah, I could see it. You know, it's not everybody. It's the problem of you and myself too. Sometimes it's our fault. A lot of times it's our fault because it's just psychology. You could get 100 great comments and one negative comment. And oftentimes people focus.
Whatever you're saying, I disagree.
I disagree. I'm saying in general, that's a very common thing. People focus more on the negative, even if it's the minority.
Your friends are regular people from Philadelphia. I can already tell. My friends are mostly regular people with normal jobs. I mean, they're eccentric a little bit, but they're, you know, a guy owns a restaurant, one guy's a cop, one guy's a pharmacist. Combined, all of them, regular people, combined, all of them have left 0 comments on anything in 10 years. Regulars, you want to know what they do? They watch, they go, huh? So what you're seeing is disproportionately comments from maniacs. It really, that's what it is.
I don't think so.
Nah, I know so. The overwhelming majority of regular people have never written a Yelp review in their life. It's just 100%.
Yelp is another problem.
It's the same thing.
I don't think so.
Just scroll on your phone. Call anybody on your phone right now. Say, hey, have you ever left a YouTube comment? They're right there saying no. They're saying, I've never done that once in my life.
That's true.
Yes.
You've never commented on YouTube before? I definitely have.
Oh, what? You're just going on a WrestleMania 12 reaction video and saying, yeah, man, Bret Hart got screwed.
But it may be like a history video or something. It's possible. Yeah.
I disagree. Mortal Kombat was a great game, but I think Donkey Kong was the best game ever. Is that what you're commenting down there?
That's a solid reference. I don't comment often, but I have. And maybe I will again. I'm saying the positive comments are a different brand of people than the vitriolic ones. I can't believe you don't agree with that.
I do. So the thing is, when people really like, so it's weird. I personally, and probably we have niche communities. We don't have 200,000 views
No.
like one of these videos about how to do this and that. So our supportive people, who are great people, continue to support. And then you have, what I like to call gargoyles. But I'm really talking about like the masses. But we have some Super Bowl things to talk about. So there is that TreVeyon Henderson most rushing yards bet. Now, how about him in general? Do you see opportunities there for him? Because I look at last game as a, hey, which is interesting because Ramondre Stevenson has a history of fumbling. I think it's like, I don't want to put this on my rookie's plate. And every series that Stevenson just looked okay, it was like, get him back out there.
Yeah,
Take
for sure.
zero risks doing anything.
That's why I don't have any interest in like the actual standard props themselves on Henderson, because Henderson could finish with like one carry and it wouldn't surprise me, right? I have no real interest in that. Someone tweeted me and they were like, his 35 plus rushing yards in each half was 400 to 1. I was like, yeah, I still want nothing to do with that, because I don't think Henderson's going to have 35 plus in each half. The hope would be that he breaks one, or that no one really does anything and he ends up just getting like 50 and it ends up being, there's a couple ways that could go. I think the most unlikely route is where he just grinds to a high yardage total. Like that to me seems almost impossible in a game like this. So no, like to ladder rushing yards, I don't even have any interest in that. That's why basically what I'm doing is taking an alt, if you think about it, like in a roundabout way, you're inflating an alt. I ladder guys when I think they have a solid baseline. Like, all right, he's at, like, remember the Bowers one we did earlier in the year where it was like 59, I think, and a half, and it bumped to 65, but it was like 59 and a half. And we both said, all right, ladder this up to 100. It's Brock Bowers. We love the 59 and a half. There's still some meat on the bone here. Let's take it up. If it's someone like Henderson, you'll never catch me laddering it because I'm not confident that he'll get to the first rung of the ladder. I'd rather just take it to the top. So then if you are right, and by right, I don't think he's going to have a big game. I just think there's enough uncertainty in this backfield that he could have a big game. This is the way I'd rather play it. You know what I mean?
It's an all or nothing, and there's nothing wrong.
Exactly
That's why I wanted. That wasn't for me to say, hey, here are bets. I just wanted to get your thought on, like, hey, does this mean you like because if the natural thought someone would have is, well, if he's going to have the most rushing yards, then he should have 30 and 40 and 50 and 60. But no, this is more so, can this guy hit a home run? Well, we know the answer to that is yes. He's done it on multiple occasions. And can he catch a crevice?
Yeah, right.
Will they, everybody seems to think it's a foregone conclusion that the Seahawks are going to win this game because of all the, things that we've seen so far. And by the way, I'll never blame the Patriots. I always hope that the Islanders have a scam path to the Stanley Cup final. And yeah, they've had a scam path, but it doesn't mean that they just happen to play their absolute best game in this final game of the season. I mean, so if they happen to be playing from ahead and they can continue to run the ball, and maybe now that everyone thinks Darnold got rid of all those issues, he had that big game, so now he's just going wild all the time. Maybe he's throwing picks again out of nowhere.
The scam schedule argument drives me insane.
It is.
Not because I don't think they've had kind of a Mickey Mouse schedule. They've had an easier schedule than other teams. It doesn't mean anything anymore. And if you look at the line, from everything I saw, the public was hammering Seattle, and it's stuck at 4.5, Andy. It hasn't moved on a neutral location. It hasn't moved past 4.5. So I mean, look, if you asked me in this game, give me the Pats. Give me the Pats plus 4.5, because everybody, and I know this sounds like silly reasoning, like, because everyone likes Seattle, so just let me be the contrarian and take New England. But sometimes it just is like, do we really think Seattle comes out there and smacks them around? The Patriots have a good defense too. and Drake May's still a good quarterback. I wouldn't. I mean, it's a 4.5-point spread.
All right, so everything's rigged, right? Even though we brought up the rigged conundrum last week of, who wins if this, that, and the other, is it the sports books or is it the NFL? Is it both? So obviously, what would make for the most entertaining game for the NFL a year after we saw the full beating? The Super Bowl is real funny because it seems like every single year it comes down to the last drive. And then every 7 years, there's just a murdering.
Remember when Seattle destroyed Peyton Manning?
Beyond destruction.
Like
it was done at halftime.
Was maybe the worst Super Bowl. You could say Patriots and Rams where it was 13-3 or whatever, but that Super Bowl was never even a game.
Yeah, the Patriots Rams one was 3-3 with like 7 minutes left.
That's what I mean. It sucked, but at least it was like, I'd like to see how this game ends. The Eagles last year for me, I enjoyed it thoroughly. But other people, they're not going to enjoy that game. It was 35-0, I think, at one point. It was never competitive.
The Bucks smacked the Chiefs, and then before that, it was probably that Broncos Seattle game. Every once in a while you get them, but my God, outside of there, it seems like one way or another, it's coming down to the last drive.
Or overtime, like we just saw. I mean, what was it, 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
No, that should be 2 seasons ago, right?
Yeah, because it was Eagles lost to the Chiefs, and then Chiefs.
Eagles lost to the Chiefs. How? On the last drive.
There's another one. Yeah, on a holding call. God, that was rough. But yeah, and then Eagles. You're right. So that was 2 years ago. Another one that came down to the wire. Yeah, a lot of these games are coming down to the wire.
And then which one was before that? Rams, Bengals, which came down to the last Rams drive when they got it, when they scored a touchdown to take the lead.
Yeah.
This is how so many of them go. So many of them come down to the last drive that if you're getting more than a field goal, I mean, I've been telling you this my whole career that typically in a game between two division teams, the team at home, I just want to have more than 3 points. But in a Super Bowl, so many of the rules don't apply. It's a wacky game, and many times it ends up coming down to the last drive. So, if you got to just be what's up?
No, it's just you're so right about some of these. Like, all right, Baltimore, San Francisco when the lights went out. Remember that? 34-31. Giants, Patriots, both of those games. Pittsburgh, Arizona was a 4-point game. The Santonio Holmes grab. Packers, Steelers was a 6-point game. But then you get more recent. And some of these I forgot about, but obviously like New England, Atlanta, the 28-3 game.
Overtime.
Yep. Eagles Foles with New England. Final heave from Tom Brady. They could have tied that game up as well. You're right. I mean, just looking at this, every handful of years, there's a blowout, probably like every 4 years. But then everything in between is just final drive, 3-4 point game. And to your point, hold on. Last year was a blowout.
That's the whole point I'm making here. Now the blowouts should be clear for 4.
That was lost on me for a second. Yeah. Good call. Okay. So you're saying there's no way that I got caught up in looking at these scores. Lost the forest for the trees there. You're saying that there's no way they're going to allow 2 straight blowouts.
Yeah, the ominous we cannot have 2 straight blowouts. They say it up from the heavens or hells, depending on where you think they're coming from. Yeah. We need people watching to the very end. So I wish there was, I'm sure some place you could say, will this come down to the final drive? And we will talk about those more obscure bets, because when it comes to the Super Bowl, it's not like, it's not like every wrinkle of this game hasn't been broken down to the nth degree. And if I have to come in with one, if I have to come in with one regular guy bet, just one, I will go with the Sam Darnold completions. It's a sniff that is more about what we've seen so far, how the Patriots defense has kind of thrived with pressure. Now, I don't know if that's because it's the quarterbacks they face, but I think with Darnold coming off of his best game, I think it maybe lends itself for the offensive play callers to feel a little like they could be a little more throw heavy based on how well he just played in the last game. And I'm not sure that he won't be able to take those complete. If pressure continues to be thrown at opposing quarterbacks from the Patriots, obviously the answer would be getting the ball out of your hands quick. Then again, we talked about this with like Aaron Rodgers and running back props when they played Houston because the line. So 1 + 1 doesn't always equal 2 when it comes to that. I just, before I went wild, wanted to at least talk about one that I thought semi made sense. So I don't know if you want to poke a hole or two on that.
I like this. Plus, it's hard to run against New England. New
And that was, yes,
a really difficult team to run against, man. And that has been the case all season long. That's not a fluke. I don't really think that's the result of matchups or anything like that. There have been a couple games where they've given up significant yardage totals. And sure, matchups will always play a role when it's like, all right, well, teams just stop running. But all in all, it's a quality run defense. And I think that while Walker's great, Kenneth Walker's awesome. I'm just pissed I lost so much money on him this year because I kept going back to the well. Like, oh, this guy's so good. There's no way they give it to Charbonnet more than him again this week. And then every single week until the guy has a serious knee injury, Charbonnet's getting like 2 or 3 more touches. Just watching Kenneth Walker, if you've watched any Kenneth Walker, he's elusive, he's shifty, he can explode. Like, he's so good, man.
Is this now one of your go-to buys going into fantasy next year because he won't have that competition with Charbonnet coming off a torn ACL?
Yeah, I just think he's going to be. I think, like, if we're talking best ball, he's going to go really. Kenneth Walker is going to go really high. I think he should.
So he will return to his previous title of Kenneth Chalker III when everyone used to love him on Sundays in DFS a couple years back.
Well, I still did this year, and it didn't work out great for me.
Well, you lost with Walker. Wait till return of the Chalker in 2026, fall 2026.
So I like that on Darnold. I think 19.5. I'm not saying it's crazy value. Like, oh, this guy. But you're not going to find crazy value on Super Bowl props. It's just not going to happen.
Yeah? I texted you. You're going to have to go off the beaten path to find stuff. So my first thing was I scrolled all the way to the right. I said, show me what this sports book has to the most far right. And then we got into, I saw George Holani's name, and I texted you. I go, why is this guy over here? And it's the head-to-head matchups. They got George Holani versus TreVeyon Henderson. And now I'm not saying TreVeyon Henderson's going to hit his alts, but what I saw in the head-to-heads, I mean, who's determining if I'm getting good value or I'm not getting good value here? I'm going to go with this ridiculous. I mean, this is what I do for games like this. I'm going to the weird sections, and this is a DraftKings one. We'll show you some other ones in a second. I'm going with Kenneth Walker just on sheer volume to have more rushing yards than Ramondre Stevenson. Weirdly enough, I feel better about him versus Stevenson than I do than Henderson because I'm just scared that Henderson can do the exact thing that made you take that bet on him that you did. And then the other one is I'm going TreVeyon Henderson over George Holani simply because I don't think what you saw. I think last week had to do with that game in Denver, knowing that one turnover can lose everything. Then a rookie fumbles. Now you can't use him at all. His confidence is shy. His whole career can be derailed because he's the guy who lost them the AFC Championship game. and he was taken out of the game plan because Stevenson was doing well enough. I think he'll definitely be in ideal weather, temperature conditions, and in San Francisco, he should be able to have more rushing yards than George Holani, because they do have a good rush defense as well. And the one kind of blah part of this Seahawks entire team is their offensive line. So I'm going Walker and Henderson in a head-to-head parlay, something I don't even know. I don't think you were able to do that in previous seasons, but I love some good head-to-heads. That's why I was so excited to take Trey McBride over George Kittle on season-long yards, because sometimes I feel like there's weird value in some of these head-to-heads. So that's a weird bet that you could take on a popular sports book. Now we could delve into some that are a little weirder than that. These are novelty props. So I'm going to run some of these by you, and I guess I'm going to try to start with some of the most tame ones. And these can be bet on. You got some Bitcoin lying around, you can go bet on these. These are the classic, like, Caribbean sports books. Let's start with something easy, because, by the way, I think I got a plus 600 lock. A plus 600 lock. How's that for, a thumbnail, like, clickbait? But I really do. So let's start with something very tame. This is boring. I don't even care what you say to it, but these are the kind of bets that we're going to start to see right here. Which will be said first, Beast Mode or Beast Quake? Beast Quake should be plus 200,000. I don't even think I've heard that.
So, do you know what they're referring to?
The Marshawn Lynch run.
Right. But I don't think
I've heard Beast Mode.
Right. I don't think they've ever, because apparently, like, it registered on the Richter scale when
they did. They said he went Beast Mode and it registered an earthquake on the Richter scale. They didn't merge Beast Quake, Brutus the Barber, Beast Quake. Are you kidding me?
You're right. They've never said, they've never said, maybe it's because I don't watch enough Seattle, like, I don't watch every Seattle game, but I don't believe I've heard Beast Quake.
It just sounds wrong. I
always said beefcake, but yeah, Beast Quake. No one's.
There was a wrestler, Brutus the Barber Beefcake. That's why I said Brutus the Barber Beast Quake. That's
a real thing, by the way. Like, if you go to Google, it actually has Beast. Like, type Beast Quake into Google real quick. I
understand that.
Beast Quake has its own Wikipedia page.
Dave, are you in the upper 5% of NFL fans in terms of knowledge?
Yeah, apparently not, though, because it has.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. If me, who I'll put myself in the top 12%, and you, who's doing this all the time, and we both don't know it, I'm sorry, Beast Quake ain't making that broadcast. And if it comes up, that's going to be a real, thank God I don't have to answer for those crimes on the next episode of A Dave and a Dan, because that would be extremely, extremely embarrassing. So there's number one.
They're going to open the broadcast with, the Seattle Seahawks, or the Patriots against the Seattle Seahawks.
It's the opening. It's the opening line. We return to the site of the Beast Quake. Even though that was up in Seattle. You know what? Speaking of which, did I? All right, so I don't have that one. They said which one's going to be shown first. The Golden Gate Bridge, that was like a minus 300, or Alcatraz plus 500. It would be pretty wild to go Alcatraz first.
That'd be crazy. Yeah.
Okay, so here's a regular one. This is a regular novelty prop bet. And I bring this up because I texted Dave. I actually, before draft, I think it was 1 year before DraftKings was fully legal. It still isn't everywhere, but I don't think it broke into New Jersey and New York. And it was during the Patriots-Rams Super Bowl, the aforementioned, 13-3. And they had a bet on there that said, will Bon Jovi be shown during the broadcast? And I bet yes. and I won that bet. And why is that? For exactly what you see on the screen right here. It's common knowledge, Dave, in the upper 12%. They may not know about Beast Quake, but they know all those Patriots Super Bowls. Who's sitting next to Kraft? Johnny Bon Jovi, the big Patriots fan who's just that tight with Kraft, I guess. He watches every Super Bowl with him. So to me, translation, you want to talk about plus EV? I said, if they're showing Kraft, they're showing Jovi. And sure enough, it cut to Kraft and it showed, I talked about this last year, 78% of Bon Jovi. They tried not to pay it out, but after deliberation, they deemed that 80% Bon Jovi equals full Bon Jovi, and that bet paid out. And that was on the back of this right here. How many times will Kraft be shown during the broadcast from kickoff to the end? This seems like a very fair line. If it was 1.5, I'm slamming the over. What are you thinking here?
A lot. Like I remember even last year with the Taylor Swift lines, they showed her a lot less than I would have thought. You know, it was a lot less Taylor Swift than I would have originally thought. So I don't think I'd touch this one. I'm not sure I would.
So we're not going to touch that one. Then let's go a little more eccentric here. Which will be higher? A little comparison. Stefon Diggs' shortest reception, interesting way to phrase it, or Stefon Diggs' baby mamas. 6. Now, they could have simply said 6, but I think they really enjoyed typing that into the bet right there.
So, will Stefon Diggs' shortest reception?
Will it be 5 or less?
Which will be higher? So if he has if his shortest reception is 7 yards, then you're taking that. If his shortest reception you think is 5 yards, you're taking baby mamas.
I think I'm going baby mamas. I think he's catching a quick one. Well, I'm kind of confusing him with last year when he caught so many short passes. He doesn't do that as much in New England.
No, but it's his shortest pass. So
yeah, which will be higher. So I would take the baby mamas because he's many times I feel like he catches a 2-yard pass and they just try to get him to wiggle for a few yards.
Exactly. You'd want that one, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's crazy. He's got 6 from 6, huh? That's something else. I saw one that was pretty wild too. Will the broadcast mention the electrical substation near the stadium?
I saw that too. It was like
I kind of want to take yes
250 plus 300.
I want to take the yes at plus 220.
No, because I feel like they'll be sued.
Yeah, but it came out that they were investigating it.
I know, but to bring it up on the Super Bowl and say this substation's causing torn ACLs and torn Achilles, I don't know if they're going to like that.
Maybe not.
How about this one?
Maybe they try and keep, yeah.
Will a Gaye for Maye sign be shown? Plus 700. Dude, I've watched Monday Night Raw. Okay, I seen a Chuck's ass stinks sign. One of the best signs I've ever seen in my life. Guy didn't care about one wrestler. He just wanted to embarrass one person he knew in his city. Chuck's ass stinks. Did the WWF want that on the broadcast? No. You got to assume a sideline shot will have it. And this is in my lock, not even close to it.
I mean, it is San Francisco. So it's possible. But
I mean, that's 10 out of 10, Dave.
They'll never mention it. But the reason I don't like this is because it's like it seems like it's going to be an arbitrary ruling on whether or not the sign is shown. They're never going to prominently show that within the broadcast. So it's like, oh, I zoomed in and I saw that sign all the way back there. I don't know if this one's too sketchy for me. I don't.
Yeah, I should have clicked that little info thing. It probably would have clarified. This was, at first I thought if they say just at all, but yeah, you're right. It's probably going to see, will it be like feature? Like, will they actually show somebody a tight shot, if you will, of that? But I mean, if they're not going to show a Gaye for Maye sign, I mean, are they showing a dildo? Because I saw multiple dildo bets. Multiple. Not only will it be thrown, they got the color, they got all that. I mean, I assume it would be voided. They will do everything they can. And I thought this went away. The dildos have went away, right?
But it's just so funny that they clarify white is also Caucasian in case it's like a realistic dildo.
Flesh colored.
Yeah. That's phenomenal. Same with black and brown.
Black/brown.
Yeah.
Caucasian/white. I don't know. I feel like what's number one up there?
Rainbow.
Man, I think I would go with purple.
Yeah.
So that
I mean, the problem is, well, I mean, no, I don't like this. There's not even a no. You can't even bet that there won't be one thrown.
I think that was a separate one. I just wanted to. I was looking for ones that stood out. Now, here's my lock. I almost want to ask you what it is, or ask you what you would price it at. That is what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you what the following bet should be priced at.
Okay. And real quick, if you saw that small writing down there, that it said that it must be prominently shown. It must be clearly shown on the broadcast. So, like, you can't take a picture of somebody doing it in the end zone when the ball's at the other side of the 20. If it's not shown on the broadcast, it doesn't count. That's
still gray area. What does shown on the broadcast mean?
Exactly. Like like they have to zoom in on it and see if
yeah. Does it count on a wide shot? If
right.
if Darnold throws a touchdown pass, they clearly cut to the end zone shot of them like celebrating in the end zone, right? Yep. What if someone in the first row is holding a Gaye for Maye sign as they're celebrating in the end zone on the close-up shot? Does that count?
That's why you can't do it.
Okay. Now here is mine. Will ghosts be mentioned? Will Sam Darnold seeing ghosts be mentioned on the broadcast?
Yes.
What would you price that at?
Dude. Minus 800? Like I think Sam, I think because they're going to mention his backstory almost certainly, you would think. Maybe I'm just insane here, but I would think they'd mention the backstory. It's Collingsworth, right? It's like, hey, he was seeing ghosts out there in New York.
I mean, just think of where we started. He saw ghosts against these very Patriots, and now he can exorcise those oh, my God, the ghosts. Well, what if I told you, I mean, that might be pretty good. Not as good as plus 600 for seeing ghosts mentioned.
Wow.
Is Collinsworth taking a dive?
What? I wonder what the limits are on a bet like that.
What, 500?
It seems
300? I am straight up. I have no clue. My thought is if you're going to bet online, they better offer something, and maybe that something will be some higher limits. But they're bringing up those ghosts. They played the Patriots. The low point of Sam Darnold's career in terms of, like, it got low, way lower than that. But that was always the thing referenced to talk about, like, you know, his biggest struggle, seeing ghosts against Belichick. How that wouldn't be referenced once is insane to me.
It has to be. I would have at least thought, like, if you were, here you go. Like, I just did a Google search, a Twitter search. There you go. Like a Barstool account, from seeing ghosts to seeing Super Bowls. The Sam Darnold story is going to be an all-time documentary. Like how do they not? Here's another one. They're everywhere. They're everywhere just from yesterday, just from the past couple of days. It would be so strange unless he figures a way to do it differently. But seeing ghosts is weaved into his entire story. And yeah, that's crazy. Wait, I wish you could click on info to make sure it wasn't like between kickoff and final whistle.
You know what, Dave? This is one that I'm actually, I will look up because it's worth it.
Yeah.
It's worth it. I'll be able to look this up relatively quick.
From kickoff to final whistle. See what I mean? That's where they get you.
I'm sorry. Like, I understand that in certain instances that would suck. But if they're bringing up the ghosts, that's when it's going to happen during the game at some point.
I don't know. I think it might happen pre-kickoff.
Yeah, you're right.
Like, they're doing all of the setups and the storylines and everything and leading up to the kickoff. That's
how
why
about this?
That scares me.
Any sort of stretch where he misses like 3 in a row, you know they're going to be tempted to bring up the ghosts. Maybe he is seeing a little ghost out there. Like, if he's struggling at all.
So I'm with you. All I'm saying is that if this was just the broadcast from start to end of broadcast, but not from start to end of game, I believe these odds would look a lot different. And I think they got sneaky by hiding that, by burying that in there.
As always. And I believe that's all of these bets. Like, if you take the Kraft, I think it has to be during game time.
That's a problem. Exactly.
That's a very big problem. So, just something to think about. I mean, I just think they're going to be so tempted. I think they got that graphic ready. You know, kind of those stupid graphics they make where they show Stafford driving down the Malibu coast with McVay in like a cartoon car. I feel like they have like the bats and ghosts that are going to come.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. That's going to happen. That's absolutely going to happen. Like
the Halloween-esque graphic. Yeah.
The ghosts are in the house floating with the New York Jets logo on the front of the door where people would usually have their last name or initials. Yeah. By the way, there's another one. Will the dildo be the same color as the Gatorade color? It's funny. My wife's upstairs. She probably hears me talking, thinking I'm doing a football show. Going, what the fuck is going on here?
Wow. You got to remind her who you're doing it with.
Well, just the idea that how in any other world would that come up naturally? So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, geez, that's a parlay. That's getting the dildo and the Gatorade all. I mean, what is that? That better be plus 5,000.
Dude, it's terrible. It's 9-1. And will the broadcast show the Patriots male cheerleader? That's minus 120 on both sides. Garbage odds again.
Nothing moves me like that ghost. So that's going to be my go-to ridiculous bet. And we'll see if Collinsworth hoses me. As soon as it's over, watch the final whistle. Ghosts no more. You know, right after the fight, he got rid of the ghosts. He no longer sees ghosts. Yeah. It's the seventh sense. Sam Darnold.
Or it's will Sam Darnold be seeing ghosts tonight? And we're away. And they kick the ball off.
And now we will see if Darnold is still seeing ghosts. Yeah, and the kickoff is underway.
Yeah.
Sons of that would make one of the all-time funniest meets. Well, Dave, I got to say thank you for all your contributions this season. You know, so many good touchdown bets so many things because we don't revisit them a ton. We had some good futures bets. We had a good time. Thank you so much for, coming back for another year. Always a pleasure to have you around these parts. And, if there's anything you want to let everybody know, or if there's anything that I missed, now is your time to exercise those ghosts.
As always, come find me over at tails.bet. Andy puts the link in the description for me. All the bets are free. All my Super Bowl bets all year long. We had a fun year, man. We'll be doing it again. I'll be dabbling in some baseball. I know you don't like it, but I've been maybe dabbling in some baseball betting this year. Just
I'm gonna need your help. Yeah, I'm gonna
keep
need your
myself
help.
occupied throughout the summer. And I think have some fun. Get some good home run bets out there, some strikeout bets. So come find me over there. We got a really fun platform, and you can grab bets from a lot of sharp people who are transparent, track their results, all that stuff. So if you're into that, come head over there. But Andy, man, it's been a pleasure, dude. I love doing this show every week. Appreciate your audience, and maybe we'll get into some future stuff. Maybe we'll even do some best ball drafts together this year.
I'm still proud of my one lineup that made the playoffs.
Yeah,
so
solid.
now I feel like it's all down from there. That's how they get you. It's just like real gambling. First time you go to that roulette table, what happens? You win $800, and then all of a sudden you're chasing that 8, and you've lost everything under the sun. But yeah, man, thank you so much. And you guys, let us know your favorite part of the season, or any sort of suggestions, stuff you like seeing. And I understand you're going to say, I want 5,000 more bets. Show me the bets and say the bets and then log off. Anything that would be practical to how this show kind of goes down. And I'll take a look at that, and we'll see how we can kind of make things better, upgrade them. For me, this is a season I want to die. I came out with Marvin Harrison, and I just knew, well, that's it. My year's done. This isn't my year.
Had some good ones, though.
Yeah, you know what? And the Rams had some good wins after winning the Super Bowl. This has been my post-Rams Super Bowl year. So many things went good for me last year. I came out with James Cook. I had those line combos, the 5 seasons worth of winning. And now, I had players retire. I had my neck injury. This was a throwaway year round the board for me. So I'll be looking to have my Rams rebuild going into next year.
You'll be back stronger than ever. That's what they say, right?
For sure. All right, Dave, take it easy.
Right,
good luck with whatever you got going. Good luck for your trade. I hope you screw those commenters.
I tell you, man, it doesn't bother me. It just it depresses me. It doesn't bother me. It depresses me. That's all.